Um, my VIPs, welcome. My friend Danielle is here to talk to us tonight. And Danielle and I met in randomly got asked to be in Wisconsin Market Council together. And so we randomly met that way, and we just have connected and hit it off right away because she's freaking awesome. Go-getter and hilarious and super wicked smart, and just really down to earth and genuine, authentic, easy to talk to. I feel like I met her once and I was like, I dig this girl. Like, we're going to be friends. And so I'm so excited that she wanted to talk to my leaders just about her journey. And she said that we could pick her brain a little bit about recruiting and how she leads her team and stuff like that. So I just always think it's really fabulous to have, just to hear somebody's story from a different organization outside of our family tree, and just to know how they do things. And I just know you guys are going to love her as much as I do. So let me tell you a little bit about her stats, her accolades. Danielle's, I'm going to read these, make sure I don't forget any. A 3-star diamond. She's actually 4-star qualifying right now. Yay! That's exciting. 2015 Premier Coach, founder of Dedication Nation, which I think is an awesome name, by the way. She's a Success Club 5 legend, a Success Club 10 All-Star. She's been coaching since January of 2014. I want to say, Danielle, that you're in the Sheboygan area. Am I right? Okay, so she's here in, for those of you not in Wisconsin, sorry, that's Sheboygan's in Wisconsin. And she's got a hubby and 2 beautiful little girls, and just a fabulous story. And she went to New Leader Conference. So I got to connect with her there too. So really, she's just done a lot with this business in a fairly short amount of time, but I know her journey has not always been an easy one. So with that, I will turn it over to Danielle. Danielle, thanks so much for taking the time to be with us tonight.
Thank you for having me. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah.
That was way too nice, by the way. That was too much niceness.
It's true, though.
I don't know about that. Oh, man. Some high standards to live up to. Okay. So I don't have a fancy schmancy presentation for you guys. I am just more of a talker, so bear with me. I hope that's okay. I am going to, I'm on my husband's computer, so I don't know if I'll be able to pull it up. I'm going to kind of putz and try to do that while we had like the last minute decided to switch computers. So I'm just like, oh, wait, well, crap. Because no, it's okay. It's just this picture that I shared it on my wall today. I think Jessica probably saw it, but it's my trigger picture, if you will. I'm going to try to share a screen really quick because this is like a huge part of my story. There we go. All right. Can y'all see that okay? Yeah. Okay, cool. All right. So this was the picture that started everything for me. This is December of 2011. I was about to have my first daughter, Lily, who's now 4. And I had someone totally misunderstand me sharing this story. This is not a pregnancy depression story. This is it all culminated to this point for me. My childhood was great. I had great parents, loving family, not the healthiest people. We are all about the red meat potatoes. I don't think I joke and I say, I don't think I had a green leaf of spinach, fresh spinach until I was 25. I don't know, something outrageous, just because that was my family. That's how we were. We're German Dutch, Sheboygan. Sheboygan's not the healthiest town in the world. We're all about our beer, our brats, and our cheese and our hard rolls. So not the healthiest. That said, I went through the classic teenage girl phase in high school of, I would try to starve myself all day, and then I would come home and just binge on everything. I couldn't. I like food. I don't know why I thought that was a smart thing. I like food. There's just no way around it. So I was just doing more harm than good, I guess, back then. And I kept making deals with myself throughout my, later teens, early adulthood, that, once I got to a certain point, I would do something to change. I would, once I hit 200 pounds, I'm going to do something. Once I get beyond that, I'll do something. Once I, can't fit into this size, I'll do something. Once I don't like myself in a picture, I'll do something. And guess what? All of those things happened and I didn't do squat. Nothing changed. I just kept letting it get worse and worse and worse. And this picture was a wake-up call for a lot of reasons. One, that this was like the happiest time of my life, and I didn't want anyone to see this picture. Like, and that resonated with me because before that, like, I really didn't care. I was kind of like, whatever. Like, I avoided the camera when possible, and like if someone got me in a picture, I would just like untag myself. I was like, whatever. But this was like I should be like showing this to everyone, and I wanted to show it to no one. Like, I didn't want anyone seeing this picture. I didn't want to know this picture existed. And I knew that it was not about me anymore. I knew it was more about Lily, and I just needed to do something for her. Like, I was at a point where I was almost 300 pounds. I wouldn't have been able to get up and off the ground with her. Like, I mean, just stairs were a challenge. Like, it wasn't an easy thing. So I'm going to stop sharing because I want to see your faces. All right. So, that's kind of what started it. Like I said, I started from scratch. Like, I didn't grow up in an athletic, healthy household. So I had to start from nothing. So I actually, after my 6-week appointment, I had a C-section. So after my 6-week appointment, I went and signed up at Weight Watchers. I went and signed a 2-year contract for a super expensive gym membership and got a personal trainer for an outrageous amount of money. So anytime someone wants to tell you that that our challenge packs are too expensive, you can tell them to shove it up their butts, because that is not expensive. Like, I had a gym membership that cost me, it was like $60 a month, plus the personal trainer was $300 a month for 3 times a week for a half an hour. Like, that's outrageous. We get personal trainers every day for a fraction of the cost. Like, that's crazy. Anyway, so started there because I didn't know where else to go. Like, there was no Beachbody in my news feeds. Like, there was nothing like screaming at me, like, do something with your life. So I just went with what was available to me in Sheboygan, what I knew about. So I started there. I saw some success about 9 months in. I had lost about 40 pounds. I had about 100 to lose. So yeah, success. It was good. But then I plateaued, because the thing about things like Weight Watchers, and I loved Weight Watchers, it got me started. I think it works for some people, and I think that's great. But I think that sometimes Weight Watchers lacks emphasis on, at least at that time, maybe they've changed since then, but lacked a real good emphasis on healthy eating. Like, it was all about, cutting your calories, and you can still eat donuts and soda and chips all day and lose weight. It's great. But like, the reality of it is you're not really fueling your body. So I attribute my plateau to that, as well as the fact that I hated working. Okay, so here's the Beachbody side of things, the career side of things. I swore up and down before I had Lily that I was never going to be a stay-at-home mom. Like, no way, no thank you, nope, not going to be me. I mean, I was like 9 months pregnant, whale size, like, not going to be me. No. People are asking me like the day before, I'm like, nope, I'm going back to work. I had her and everything changed. Like, it was like instantaneous. It was like one of those like total 180 shifts. Like, crap, I've set myself up to be working and now I don't want to do it. Like, my mother has this really awesome phrase. It's you aren't until you are. And she says that about everything. And it's so true. It's not an insult to anybody that doesn't have kids. It's not an insult to anybody who isn't married. It's just, you can't possibly understand what that's like until you're in it. Like, I only have 2 kids. I can't possibly understand what Jessica's doing with 3 kids. Like, I just can't. Like, I can empathize, I can sympathize, I can totally picture it, but I can't totally know what it would be like if I had a 3rd child. For a lot of reasons. I'm different than Jessica. Like, there's no way for me to know how I'm going to handle that. And this was that situation, is like, yes, in my mind, I liked working. I liked being busy. I liked challenging myself. But what I didn't factor in was that would involve me leaving her every day. So I was at this point now where we need to have 2 incomes. Like, we are a 2-income household. I have crazy amounts of student loans, credit card debt from really bad life choices early on in my life. Like, so it just wasn't a possibility. So now I've like set myself up to, like, I have to work. So the other piece of my plateau issue was that I stopped going to the gym as often. Like, I lived in the gym those first, like, when you're really excited about it, I I'd put Lily to bed and I'd run out the door to the gym. I'd be gone for 2 hours. I'd come home. I'd barely get any sleep because, traveling to and from and being at the gym and, whatever, like, I didn't care. I was doing it. But like, you get 9 months in and it's like that honeymoon phase wears off. Like, it gets harder and you're like, man, I don't want to do that. And I refused to take time away from my daughter because I only got to see her 3 hours a day as it was. There was no way in hell I was going to a gym when I could be home with her. And that was a problem with the personal trainer issue too, is I had signed up with this personal trainer, and guess what? Their hours are not conducive with after 9 p.m. or after 8 p.m. So I think that contributed a lot to the plateau issue I was experiencing. And I experienced that plateau for about it was about 4 or 5 months. In the meantime, like in this process, I got really passionate about this, like really passionate about sharing my story because I saw success and because I was someone who's starting from scratch and really learning how to do this. And I was someone who started out with a ton of weight to lose. And I really liked sharing that and connecting with people who were similar to me and who were like struggling with that piece. So I'd actually started a Facebook page. I wasn't even a coach. I had started a Facebook page because I just wanted to share my journey with people that were interested. And the really funny piece, okay, so this was, let's see, beginning of 2013. I actually, it pops up in Time Hop every year and it just makes me giggle because I posted saying that, if someone could find me a job where I could stay home with my daughter and work on my health and fitness, please sign me up. Like, I want to do that. Like, it was like basically begging for Beachbody to come into my life. This was like 4 months before I found Beachbody. Because I didn't know what existed. I thought all the MLMs out there are scams. I thought they were all like Mary Kay, where I'd have to have parties and just like, it would take more time away from my kids. And I didn't want that. Okay. Fast forward a little bit more. I followed a lot of fitness pages on Facebook, like because I created my own. I was like, I'm going to support these other ones. And I saw people posting about Shakeology and Beachbody and stuff now. And I was like, what is this? What is this going on here? And in my plateau frustration, because I was shocked that I stayed on my plateau and didn't just say, screw it, I'm going to give up because it was so long. Like, I'm just shocked that I stuck with it. But I like posted something on my personal page just saying, do any of my friends, like, do you guys use this? Do you know what this is? Like, I've never heard of it. I've been trying to research it. But, when you type something into Google, you either get the really, 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 really terrible stories or the really, really, really awesome stories. And it's really hard to figure out, like, what is true and what is not true. Like, are they just painting a rosy picture or is it actually that awesome? So I posted something on my Facebook page asking. I got connected to my now coach, Elizabeth Hartke, through she's my matron of honor, my wedding. She's like, you need to talk to her. She's awesome. And she didn't even work with her. She was just friends with her. So she's like, hey, she does that. Yeah, we'll talk to her. So I talked to her and I was the customer that everyone hates, just to be clear. Okay. Like, I was the one that said she was going to sign up, send me a link, I'll do it today, and didn't do it. I was the one that stopped responding. She would talk to me and I would just like not respond. I deleted her messages. Like, I don't even have our original like conversation because I was like, no, I'm not doing it. I don't want her to talk to me anymore. Like, I'm just going to like disappear. I'm surprised I didn't unfriend her. Like, I was that like creep, whatever. Like, I was that customer. Okay. It took her 4 months with me. I'm sure every time I messaged her, she was probably like, oh my God, not this girl again. Like, she's just going to like pull my leg. This is like annoying. But I finally did it. Like, July of 2013 is when T25 came out and I was like, 25 minutes. I was like, at home? Like, I can do that. So I signed up as a discount coach, kind of a hobby coach, because I was like, I was entertained by the idea of staying home with my kids, making money while doing something I was passionate about. Because at the time I was working in purchasing, corporate purchasing, which isn't a bad gig, but it wasn't something I really cared about. Like, it wasn't something I was passionate about. And I worked for pretty much the worst people ever. When I first signed up, I was working, when was that? 2013? No, yeah, okay. I was working for a woman who, she's nice outside of work. Like, her and I are still connected, but she doesn't have kids. Couldn't have kids, sad. I feel bad for her, but definitely judged me for having kids. Like, it was definitely one of those, like, anytime I was late because of the kids, anytime I had an obligation because of the kids, like, I had doctor's appointments, like, it was just this really bad situation. So anyways, I was entertained by the idea that there could be something different. I just didn't believe in it. Like, I just didn't think it was real. Like, I was like, those success stories aren't real. Like, that's not real life. Like, you can't really do that with your life. So I just kind of hung around. I didn't really like run with it. And then I got pregnant with my daughter, Valerie, in October of 2013. And at that point I was like, well, I definitely can't do this now. Like, I'm still overweight. And that was another struggle I had, was the whole, like, I'm not at my goal weight. Like, how can people be inspired by me if I'm not, I don't look like Autumn. Like, why are they going to talk to me? Like, I don't look the way that they want to look. Like, that's not inspiring. So I just didn't think I could do it. I actually submitted my cancellation form November of 2013. It's my upline. And it changed it back recently, but this was when you got the notification. You had 48 hours to reach out to that person, get them to change their mind, and then they could retract it or it would go through. So she obviously got the cancellation notice and reached out to me. And it was so not a like, please stay, why are you quitting? It was definitely more of a like, what's going on? Like, I saw really big things for you. Like, what's going on? And I said, oh, I'm pregnant, and she's like, okay, like what, I'm not hearing a reason why you can't do this. And I was like, well, obviously, you know, I'm not on my goal weight. I'm pregnant. Like, who's going to care about what I have to say? And she's like, I don't think you understand the power of your story. I don't think you understand the potential in this business. And I don't think you understand what you can do with it. And for whatever reason, her words that day, that moment really stuck with me. And I withdrew my cancellation. And I was like, okay, fine. Because at the time, like even when I submitted the cancellation form, I was like, well, I'll come back once I have the baby. Like I'll come back once I have a transformation and I'm back to being that person. So I withdrew it and I was like, I'll just pay the $15 a month, whatever, it's fine. And I hung out. And I like was the lurker in the team page. Like I like watched all the things everybody else was doing. I signed up at the same time as a couple other people on our team. I don't know if you know them, but they're Colleen Curtis and Annalisa Hurley signed up at the same time as me. And like I watched them and all the success they were having. And I watched Liz and all these awesome things. And like it just like was one of those like, it just like little deposits, like little like touch points with me, like, oh, okay. Mm-hmm. But I still just wasn't seeing it. January of that year, January 2014, it was a really, really cold winter in Wisconsin, like significantly cold. I mean, we have cold winters, but this was like multiple days, multiple weeks of like negative 30-degree wind chill, like super cold. And like they knew it. So like they were closing schools like a day or two in advance because they knew it was going to be so cold. And my daughter went to the Sheboygan YMCA daycare, and they were attached to the school district in terms of like whether or not they closed. Well, they announced the day before there was going to be closed. So I let my boss know, hey, I'm going to have to work from home tomorrow. My daughter's, you know, she's her daycare's closed. So, I mean, she's 2. Like she cannot be self-sufficient. Like there is no choice in this matter. And I had the option, like the capability, I guess, of working from home. So I had a laptop, a cell phone. I plopped Lily in front of Sesame Street all day. Like I was mom of the year over here. Like, but nothing fell through the cracks with work. Like I was kicking butt. I went to work the next day and I got reprimanded for not being physically at work, even though my job didn't change, even though nothing fell through the cracks. It was as if I was at work. My boss was upset that I missed work. Like it just that was that simple. And I remember I was practically banging my head on my keyboard at work thinking there has to be a better way. I'm having another baby. It's not going to get easier. They're always sick. There's always things that happen. Like kids are unpredictable beings. I'm like, if I, you know, like in corporations, like the ones I've been working for and the positions that I've been working in, we're not going to be super flexible with that. So it was a total one of those like light bulb moments, I guess. I prayed a lot. I don't know if you guys are spiritual at all, but like I prayed a lot. It was one of those like, God, give me a sign. Like I need something. I remember scrolling like the job search websites, like there has to be something for moms, like what's happening? And it was that same day that I swear my entire newsfeed was filled with Beachbody's so amazing. Beachbody paid my electric bill. Beachbody paid my mortgage. Beachbody did this. Beachbody did that. I'm like, wow, if that's not God talking to me, then I don't know what it is. So January 21st of 2014, I sent a message to Liz and I was like, all right, let's do it. I'm 3 months pregnant. I'm still 50 plus pounds overweight, but let's figure it out. Like I'll do it. So I just jumped right in. Like it was just one of those, I had already been sort of sharing my journey and I just found a different way to share it for those next 6 months while I was pregnant. Hit diamond in a few months. I don't remember. I think it was 3 or 3 months, something like that. Success Club was always a non-negotiable for me. I mean, Liz made that very clear that if I wanted to see success, that was something that had to happen. I also set a goal that day that I would be home with my kids 1 year later. Like that was my goal, was 1 year from now, I'll be home with my kids. And I was working a pretty cush corporate job. Like if I'm being totally honest, it was pretty sweet. Like aside from the not being flexible with my kids, like when I was there, like it wasn't super stressful, got paid good money, good benefits. Like it was all right. Had I not had kids, it would have been a perfect job. But I set a goal 1 year and it was about 1 year and 4 days that I gave my notice. And I've been home with my kids. February 9th of last year was my last working day. So, it's incredible. This opportunity would just changed everything about my life, everything. And I still have weight to lose. Like after Val was born, I mean, I breastfeed. I don't know if you guys breastfeed or anything, but I like to say I'm a lactivist. Like I'm really passionate about breastfeeding. No judgment to anybody that doesn't. Like I totally like feed your baby. No worries. But I love breastfeeding. I breastfed both my girls. I'm still breastfeeding Val. She's 22 months. And my body doesn't like to lose weight at a certain point with breastfeeding. It's like I'm 6 months out and then it's like, nope, you don't get to lose anymore. So it's been a struggle that way, but still going, still doing it. So I want to share a couple of things like that contributed to my success. None of it's rocket science. Like, let me just be really clear. Like, none of this is anything you haven't heard before. You guys are either almost diamonds, star diamonds. Like, you guys know what's going on. Like, you're not dummies. Like, you know what's up. But I want to share just like the things that helped me in my business. So one, like I said, a Success Club has to be a non-negotiable. Like, it's not, well, I'll hit it this month and maybe next month, but Success Club 10 has to be a non-negotiable. And the reason why Success Club 10 is a non-negotiable is because those leads, you don't think that they matter. They don't matter if they don't, because like, nobody responds, nobody's talking to me, like it's for nothing. Like, my leads contribute to like a good portion of my business. Like, either from the ones that do respond are awesome and get their shakeout month or sign up as a coach. It's great. The ones that don't respond still sometimes get Shakeology. Like, so you get that extra income without really having to do a whole lot. Like, that's just, it builds up over time. Like, being over 2 years into this business, I'm sure Jessica can attest, being, I think she's 4 years. Yes. Am I making that up? 4 years? Yeah. That builds up over time and it does become a good thing. So make it a non-negotiable, because if you want to build a team like that, if you have goals of premier or elite, your team needs to be hitting Success Club. The only way your team is going to hit Success Club is if you set that bar. Like, if you are hitting Success Club, like, how can you tell your coaches you have to be doing this if you're not on the Success Club board? Like, if you're not doing it yourself. And I see that struggle in some of my leaders on my team, is that they're not hitting Success Club consistently and struggle with conveying that to their team. And that's a big piece. So that, I know it's not rocket science, but it's true. Like, you have to approach it with that ferocity. Like, you have to, like, every single month make it happen. If you're leading a team, it's ideal to hit it in the first 10 to 15 days in the month, because then you can focus on your team the rest of the month and getting things ready for the next month. Like, I've found huge success, like longevity in my success from doing that. So that's my advice to you guys. Power hour every damn day. Like, it's super simple. But when I was working full time, I had a toddler at home. I was pregnant, which, if you've been pregnant, you know, like, the exhaustion that comes with being pregnant. Like, it's just obscene. On top of working 45 plus hours a week, on top of a toddler and a husband who I love. And we were buying a house and moving. Jessica's another perfect example. She just went through all this. Yes. Like, and yet I made it a point every lunch hour, when I could have had that break away from my family, just to breathe and do nothing. I took that hour and I pounded out my power hour, because I'll be damned if it doesn't happen today. Like, I was so hell-bent on getting out of my job that power hour was like my lifeline. Like, I knew it was going to be the way that I got out of there. In fact, I remember posting, again, like, these like flashbacks are just so funny to me now. Like, it's just crazy. I remember posting in our team page. I was only 3 months into being, I think I just hit diamond, or I was just short of it. And I posted about how we had our first nice day in Wisconsin, like our first, like, you know, you cannot wear a heavy winter coat day. And I posted in the team page, because it was the only place I could post, because I still had a job that I had to do. And I said, you know, I look outside and it's sun shining, it's gorgeous out, and all I want to do is go pick Lily up and take her to daycare, but I'm stuck at this job. And I'm like, I'm going to take this, and it's going to be fuel to my fire, and I'm going to work that much harder today, so that a year from now it's not the case. And a year from that point, it was not the case. Like, I was actually, a year from that point, the craziest thing was I was walking to the park with my daughters to go swing on swings and stuff. Like, that's just like mind blowing to me. But it's because power hour every single day, concentrated power hour. Like, I know, okay, like, if you're a busy mom, like, you don't have a ton of time to sit and be concentrated, do power 15 minutes, but like, make sure you know what you're doing during those 15 minutes. Like, if you only have 15 minutes, great, make the most of it. Not, I'm scrolling the news feed, I'm trying to find someone to talk to. Like, have your list, talk to as many people as you can in that 15 minutes. Like, that's what your power hour has to look like. It has to be timed. I set a timer on my phone for each category that I did during my power hour. So if I was friend requesting people, I had 2 minutes to do that. Like, 2 minutes, find your friends, request them. I had, 13 minutes to form with, 5 new people, or whatever it is, like, whatever makes sense in your business at this time. But set those timers, because it's the only way to keep yourself focused. Like, it's like you're running against the clock. Like, it's really motivating then. Be crystal clear about a why that makes you cry. Like, we talk about that all the time in my team. Like, if you don't have a really strong why, you're going to struggle. And it's not because you're less good of a coach. Like, it's not because you lack ability. It's strictly because you don't have something pushing you and motivating you to push through the times that it's really tough. Because there are times. I say this business is 90% fun and 10% tough, because there are times where everyone says no, and you get this like 5 cancellation notices, and like just like everything kind of happens at one time. You just feel really crummy. If you have a really strong why, it doesn't matter. Like, okay, I'm sad for a minute, but I'm going to move on, and I'm just going to find 5 new people, or I'm going to find that many more new people. But only if you have that strong why. So if you haven't found it yet, I mean, keep digging, keep soul searching, keep dreaming big, and keep trying to figure it out, because that's the piece that's going to make the difference. Set goals all the time. Every day, every week, every month, every year. Like, you need to have goals for every stage. Your yearly goals are the ones that are broken down into like quarters, which are broken down into months, which are broken down into weeks, which are broken down into days. The days are going to be more of the like your daily tasks. Like, that's going to be like, okay, so if this is my monthly goal, like if I want to hit Success Club 15, how many people do I need to talk to every single day to make that happen? How many invites do I need to be sending every single day to make that happen? So you just need to be really crystal clear on your goals as well. I tried really hard in the beginning to be like, I don't need to set goals. That's silly. Like, I don't want to do that. Mostly because I didn't want to fail. Like, I didn't want to set a date to a goal and then miss it. Like, that was really scary to me. I didn't like that. But Liz told me, like, my upline was like, no, like, you have to set goals. She's like, it doesn't matter if you miss it. It's your business. Like, it doesn't, but you have to set them to like push yourself to keep going. Because you say, oh, I'll hit 2-star when I hit it. It's fine. Like, guess what? You're probably never going to hit it, because you're not going to be motivated to push your coaches and to figure out new ways to work with them and to recruit more people. Like, you have to set dates and goals to things. Become an expert storyteller. That's the difference between, in my opinion, between a great coach and an okay coach. The great coaches tell stories, like, and I'm not fictional stories. They tell their story. Like, they tell why are they doing this? Like, why are they so passionate about this? What brought them to this point? Like, that is huge. That will keep people entertained, and that will keep people paying attention. If you're just like, still selfie with my Shakeology, like, and like, oh, this one transformation photo, isn't this great in 22 minutes? Like, you're not giving me anything deep. Like, anybody can go sign up at a gym and like see results temporarily. Like, that's fine. But why is your program different? Like, why is this different? Why did it work for you? Like, why are you telling this information? Always boil it back to, why is this important? Like, that's what I think whenever I make a post, is like, why is this important? Why should anybody care? So become an expert storyteller. It takes time to get to that point. I'm not even going to say I'm an expert storyteller. I'm a storyteller, but I don't know that I'm an expert storyteller. I'm working on it. But get vulnerable. Like, I challenge my coaches to get vulnerable at least once a day in some capacity. I mean, not a transformation picture all the time, but just like share a piece of you with the world, like something that's challenging, or something that's deeper than just, like a selfie with Shakeology. Like, that doesn't tell anybody anything. Personal development. Okay, like, yes, we all know personal development. But the thing about that is that my experience has been, every time that I complain to my coach about how crappy things are and how no one's responding and how everything's falling apart and my life sucks, she asks me, are you doing your personal development? And every single time I say no, or I say, well, sort of, or it's not what I need. Like, do personal development that speaks to you, like, that you need. Like, what are you struggling with? Are you struggling with leadership? And guess what? Plug into some leadership. Like, fill your life with that personal development that you need. Because if you're reading leadership and that's not what you need, like, you need confidence, it's not going to speak to you. It's not going to help you. So make sure that it makes sense to you at the time. So never feel bad about ditching a book in the middle of it. I know I struggled with that. Like, I was totally like, I started, I must finish it. But if it's not speaking to you anymore, then stop. Like, just, it's okay. No one's going to like hunt you down and, slap you on the wrist. Like, it's fine. Find things that speak to you. It takes time, but like, it's worth figuring that part out. Be a great student. Go out there and learn stuff. Like, don't depend on your upline. Don't think that she needs to provide you with trainings and documents and files and everything. Like, you do it. Like, you go figure it out. You find resources and make it happen yourself. Own your business. Own it. If she gives you that stuff, that's awesome. She's great for doing that, but that is not her responsibility. This is your business. Be a good student. A good coach is a good student. That was my favorite phrase I've ever heard from any other coach, is that, because it's true. Be independent, be proactive, and go figure it out. There's so many free trainings and free resources out there. Like, anything you're looking for, I would bet money you can find. And I'm not a gambler, just to be clear. Like, I would bet money you can find whatever it is that you're struggling with or need to find. One-on-ones, I don't know if Jessica does those, but I do one-on-ones with my team. You know, like, reach out to your upline about that. If you need that one-on-one time, like, to really connect and have something to talk about, not one-on-one to be like, hey, how are you? Like, what's new with you? How the kids? Like, a one-on-one to talk about something that you need help with. Like, if you need her guidance in something, like, tell her you need that and what it is, and I guarantee you she will give it to you. Finally, like, my biggest advice to everyone on my team is always consistency. Whatever you're doing, do it well and do it consistently. The well piece will come if you do it consistently. Like, that's a really fun thing. It's like, you don't need to figure out how to do it well first. If you do it consistently, you will end up doing it well. But I mean it consistency. Like, if you are doing your power every day, like, do it every day. Like, do it consistently. Do it. Like, don't be like, well, when I feel like it, I'll do it. Or same thing with personal development. Like, do it every day. Like, consistency. Like, that was the 100%. If there's anything to take away from this, that was the key to my success, was that I was consistent with that stuff. I consistently posted. I post-croned, and actually I think at the time I used Hootsuite. But anyways, I scheduled my personal posts because I worked, and I'm like, I can't be on the computer to post on Facebook. So I scheduled my posts. I was that committed to making sure that happened. So be consistent in your actions, and it will pay off. But you have to put in the effort. You have to be consistent. Now, I know Jessica said I should talk about recruiting. So I don't know what you guys want me to talk about with that. If you guys have questions about anything specific, I'm happy to share that. I mean, I'm definitely not going to say that I'm a recruiting expert by any means. But I have learned some things along the way. If you guys have some questions specifically, I'm happy to answer them. But I guess the biggest thing in recruiting is just not to be scared. Like, don't be scared of it. If you're living in fear of recruiting, that's going to set you back so far. And it's not worth it. It's not worth being scared of. Because you have to think of it like, what's the worst thing that's going to happen? Like, if you reach out to somebody who you think is super motivational, super positive, and you say, oh my gosh, like, I love your posts. You're so positive. I find that so inspiring. It's so refreshing. Have you ever thought about, like, and just ask her, have you ever thought about being a coach? Have you ever thought about, joining my team? Like, have you ever thought about this? Worst thing that's going to happen, they're not going to respond. Maybe they'll unfriend you. But guess what? Nothing else is going to change. Like, if they go blast you on Facebook, then I guess they're not really as positive a person as you thought they were, and it's good that they're not on your team. So that's my biggest advice with recruiting, is just don't be scared of it. I spent a good portion of my business fearing recruiting. Like, I recruited, but I recruited the people I felt safe with. Like, it was the people that were already in my challenge group, that were already talking to me, that reached out to me and asked me what I was doing. Like, that's the easy stuff. Like, that's a cakewalk. You should easily talk to those people. I'm talking to people that you don't have a decent relationship with. Maybe your leads, maybe people who like your posts, but they're not really, like, you haven't really talked to them before. Or people that you've noticed that they're just really positive and you keep thinking, gosh, they'd be such a great coach. Don't fear recruiting people, because I think another great thing that I heard next to a good coach is a good student is recruiting. It's a gift. This is a gift. I think about that all the time, because for me, it 120% is a gift. Like, the life I'm living today would not have ever been possible without this opportunity. Ever. It was not even a thought about it. I told you we were a 2-income family, like, not a possibility. But because of this opportunity, I am home with my children. Like, I am doing things I wouldn't have done before. So just keep that in the back of your mind and think about how this gift can help that person. Like, don't look at that person and think about why they won't do it. Think about why they will do it. Like, do they have kids? Do they complain about their job? Do they, have dreams and aspirations? Like, picture what this can do for someone else and just look at it like you're offering them a gift. Like, you're not trying to scam them. Like, you know what this is. If they don't want to take the time to figure it out or understand or get to know what you're talking about, that's their decision and it's their loss, to be totally honest. But just look at it like it's a gift, because it is. All right, Jessica, I feel like I've talked forever. I have a total dry mouth. What questions do you guys have for me? I feel like I've just kind of rambled on for a while.
No, this is great stuff. I wrote down, I took vigorous notes, so I know that I'm not the only one. This is a chatty group, and they like to pick people's brains. So ladies, don't be shy, because
please,
like, super open. So
please, yes, ask me. I mean, seriously, anything. I'm happy to share. There's literally nothing that I won't talk about. I'll talk about poop if you want. I'm not scared. Like, let's do it. think I scared your group, Jessica.
I know the poop. They're all like,
Like, oh, I want to talk to this woman.
It's okay.
It's crazy.
I will ask a question. I will lead with a question really quick.
Sweet.
I know when I spoke on your team call, you guys definitely offer the coaching opportunity. I got the vibe anyways that you guys offer the coaching opportunity
We do.
up front with the challenge pack sale more than we do. And so I think I would love to know more about that. Would you ladies love to know more about that too? Okay. Tell me what you do.
Okay, so it's really simple. And this might, I guess, shock you guys, especially if it's not like your culture, I guess, but
that's why we're asking.
Yeah, I shouldn't say, I mean, some of my coaches do, I'm sure. I know I did in the beginning, but I don't actually even explain what discount coaching is to people. Like if you said, all right, Danielle, 21-day fix, let's do it. We talked about all of it. I know how much it's going to cost. Like, where do I sign up? Then I sign every single person up. Well, I shouldn't say every single. I've kind of gotten away from it a little bit, just in that I don't feel as comfortable asking for it when I don't know the person at all. Like if they're a complete stranger and we've only really talked about Beachbody, then I won't ask for their information. But if this is somebody I know, or we've been friends on Facebook forever, or we really, really got to know each other and like have that really big trust established, I ask for their information. And it's all I do is I say, oh, great, that's awesome. All we have to do is get your stuff ordered. So here's what I need from you. And I list all their personal information. So I say name, email, phone, date of birth, social security number, and then I just put next to it to save on Shakeology going forward. So they know it's optional, and they know what that's going to do for them. And then I say, like, flavor of Shakeology, credit card number. If you'd rather text me or call me, let me know. I rarely have anybody question why I need social security number. Because at that point, I've built such a trust with them that they know I'm not trying to scam them. They know who I am. They know what I'm about. Like, they're not, whatever. I do have some people ask just like, oh, it's weird that they need a social security number. And then I just say, well, the system doesn't differentiate between you and a coach. So if you were to ever run the business, they would need to have your social security number for tax purposes. Very simple. But like I said, rarely does anybody ask me. Once I've signed them up, I send them another message saying, you're all set to go. I'm so excited for you. And then I break everything down. Now, the reason I do it this way is because I found in the beginning that people got really, really overwhelmed. Like, if they're already shelling out $140 to $160 on something that they're not sure is going to work for them, that they're doubting themselves about, me talking about discount coach, challenge group, Shakeology, like all these terms that just don't really mean anything to anybody outside of our world, gets really overwhelming, and it kind of shuts people down. So this way, I'm saving the money on Shakeology like I said I would, and I've broken down all of the costs for them. And I can share that with you, Jessica, if you want to share the verbiage with your team. I'm happy to share that. And it breaks it all down for them so they know how to cancel things. They know how to do especially with that link now. Like, it's really easy to cancel your membership online. Like, I kind of talked about it like a discount membership. It's like a Costco membership. Like, it's not, you don't have to do anything about it. Like, it's just to save you money. Okay, so that explains how I do it, why we do it. When I started, I was like gunning for rank. Like, I wanted to go diamond and I wanted to do it like yesterday. So my coach was very upfront and said, this is how you do that. I also come from a place of, okay, Sheboygan, where we live, is a very, very frugal area. Like, very frugal. Like, these people are nuts about stuff. Like, it's crazy. And like the kind of town I live in, just to give you a little snapshot, we maybe from one end to the other end of town, I don't know, 20, 30 miles, maybe? Not even. Can't even be that much. It's like, we're very small. Maybe 10 miles. Okay, what has it? 10 miles, right? From the middle of town, okay, there's a store in the middle of town, and there's another store on the edge of town, I guess you could say. So they're maybe 2.5 miles apart, right? I used to work at this store, and I would tell people, oh, we don't have it here, but they have it at the store across town. And they'd say, oh, I don't want to go all the way across town for this. I'm like, across town is 2 miles. Like, it'll take you 2 minutes. Like, and we don't have traffic. Like, there is no traffic. The traffic in this town is like the ducks are crossing the street. Like, that's traffic. So anyway, so this is a very frugal town. So I approach the discount coaching thing like, I want to save my customers money. Like, if they're going to continue with this is just going to save them money. It's going to help me build for rank. If they choose to coach, they're already signed up. Like, it's a really easy transition. There's no extra step. If they want to cancel, again, it's not really an extra step, especially now with the link to cancel online. They can cancel their Shakeology and everything in one fell swoop. Like, it's not going to take them any more time than it would to just cancel their Shakeology. So that's my approach, is for that reason. Now, that said, I don't always do it that way. If there are, and maybe this has just come with like learning the business and being in it a little longer. If there's someone I have a gut feeling about that is just really going to be upset about being signed up that way, or I just really don't see them sticking with it, like they're just getting the Shakeology because it's part of the challenge pack and I've pretty much convinced them that they have to have it with the challenge pack, I don't necessarily sign them up that way because I just don't want them to have the hassle. But again, with the online form, it's not really a hassle anymore. Like, it's not really that much bigger of a step. So that's how I approach it. It's just, we just like to save people money. And actually my whole team, like, I kind of gave them the option. I'm like, you don't have to approach it that way, but this is how I grew my business. This is why, but you decide for yourself. Like, it's not like we have to do it that way. It's just, for Emerald, we kind of say that, like get to Emerald really quick. Like, do that quick. If you're pushing for Diamond, do that quick, and then kind of reevaluate after that point. Does that make sense? Like, why we do that, how we do that? Okay. So yeah, so it's just really to save people money. Like, I'm all about saving a buck. So I'm like, why not save you money and save you the trouble of like paying the $40 and submitting for the reimbursement, like, or buying another challenge pack. And then like, yeah, so I try to save people the time. And I have it where a lot of times they don't do it and then they're mad that they have to, and I'm like, I told you could have signed it up this way. It's fine. So I just try to avoid the hassle. Like, it's more of like, this makes my life easier if you just sign up this way, then I don't have to think about it. But yeah, so that's why I do it that way. Anybody else have any questions?
Makes sense. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Who else has questions? Anything about the way Danielle leads, or anything?
Do you use other forms of social media besides Facebook?
That's a great question. No, I don't. Well, that's a lie. I post on Instagram just because I like the filters. Not gonna lie. And I have the intent of, I'm trying to build my Instagram. Like, I want there to be posts there because I do plan to run it in the future. I just am not to a point where I really care to do it. I am working on my like page, so I'm going to do that, but I have not really branched outside of Facebook, to be honest. Anybody else? I promise I won't bite. I promise. No? I scared them all, Jessica. I'm sorry. Like, I didn't mean to.
They're normally not so quiet. Any questions?
No, I'm like, oh no, what did I do?
Mandy's got a question.
Oh, what's up?
Okay, so when approaching, or if you've ever done this, approaching people in the fitness industry for recruiting as coaches, I know a couple of people on my team and myself have gotten a lot of like resistance because they seem to not want to like rep any one particular company, and they don't want to feel like they're recommending something to their current clients or future clients just because they're making money off of it. Like, that seems to be the general feedback I'm getting. And it's like, I'm trying to, I just don't know how to respond to that. Just wondering if you've run into that.
I have not run into it in terms of that specific objection with it being that they don't want to rep like one product. I think, you go ahead, Bridget, because I haven't done that piece. What I have run into is people are like, no, I like to, get started with them and like in person. Like, I like to like be really hands-on with people. Like, I've gotten that objection before. And I think that one of the best rebuttals, I guess you could have for that, that I've used is to say that you can still do that, but that this gives you a bigger reach. Like, I liked that Trina Gray talked about that, I know, at Super Saturday, that like, that you only get this like 20-mile radius of people or whatever, maybe like 60, whatever it is. And Beachbody gives you the ability to connect with so many more people, like all across the country. So it just gives you that ability that you can't teach everyone. Like, if I was teaching a class, I couldn't teach someone in Michigan unless I'm doing it like through like a video chat or something. But it gives me the ability to still help that person. Yeah, I haven't run into that specific.
And to reach them at home too.
Right, exactly.
Other than like just the time they're at the personal trainer, like Danielle was talking about. I don't know, Bridget, if you've got more to piggyback on that.
Yeah, I mean, exactly what she said too, with just being able to reach way more people, and through online, you can meet people you don't know via Facebook, Instagram, running ads. A couple other things is you're just really partnering up with Team Beachbody. You don't have to sell your soul. So really for me, it's another tool in my toolbox. Like, I'm a personal trainer. If people want to come and work with me, because that's what motivates them in my basement, I'm going to work with them. If they want to come and only see me in classes because they like group exercise, then that's where I'm going to see them. If those two things aren't their deal and they need something they can do at home, and they need someone checking in on them with their nutrition, then it's going to be Team Beachbody. And I think it's a tool in your toolbox. You're not specific by any means. And we just talked about, it's just offering more solutions. You're the consultant. So guess what? I might add more things later. I might add, I'll just give away meal plans, and maybe they won't do exercise programs with me. Maybe it'll be Shakeology and meal plans. So the way I see it is you can do so many more things, and you don't have to stick with the typical challenge group. You can tweak it as much as you want. You could do Shakeology only. Heck, you could do performance line for those people that don't want the workout. So really, you're partnering with Team Beachbody to get some pretty kick-ass tools to get folks healthy. And that's just one more thing. And you can earn a lot more money than being just a personal trainer and slaving away on the fitness floor. I mean, honestly, I was getting paid $20 an hour when I had a client. And if I didn't have a client and I was just folding towels and walking around, I was getting paid $10. And I just spent hours a day there, put my kids into the daycare. It made no sense. I'm like, why am I doing this? I could put 2 hours into Beachbody a day and, quadruple the salary. So those are just my thoughts. And one other thing really quick is I'm just offering us what I do, because I'm constantly doing a program and I'm constantly drinking Shakeology. It's my lifestyle. I never say like, hey, you should do this. I just say, you know what works really well for me? X, Y, and Z. You know what helps my digestion? I drink Shakeology. So it's not even pushing anything. I never push. It's all like I just insert at the appropriate time. I listen to the issues that they're having, and I insert my solution. Gosh, you know what helps me? You know how I got rid of my tummy bloat? I started clean eating, and I started changing up my workouts with X, Y, and Z. So anyway, sharing your lifestyle. That's all.
Awesome. That's awesome. I did get a private message from Sherry asking, what do you say to your coaches to encourage them to become Emerald?
Yeah.
I actually just finished a week-long Emerald push group, we haven't done that before, but it was just a new fun thing. But to encourage them, in our coach training, we have a 2-week-long new coach training. In there, we talk about the benefits of being Emerald. Benefits meaning you're eligible for Team Cycle Bonus, and you're eligible for leads. If you're hitting Success Club, you get those leads that I was talking about, which is super valuable. And just to show that you're serious. I think that is something that, and when it comes to Diamond, I think that's really important too, is that if you hit Emerald and then you hit Diamond a little while later, that you get publicly recognized by your coach, that sticks with people, because there's so many people doing so many things, different MLMs, different, workouts, different products. And, everybody's on Facebook sharing that. So to differentiate yourself and to show I'm serious about this, that's one way to do it, is see, I did something, and to do it, I hit Emerald and now I hit Diamond, and now I'm going to get recognized for something else, Success Club All-Star or Star Diamond, or I'm recognizing my coaches. When you when that keeps showing up in people's news feeds, they realize that you're serious and that you're a leader, that you're doing something with this. So I do emphasize that to an extent with my coaches, new coaches, that if you're serious about this, that is a way to show it. That's a way to show them that you're serious, a way to show me that you're serious, and that you're going places. So that's usually how I emphasize this. It's just the straight, these are the things that you get when you're Emerald, but that's the, I guess, indirect result, which I think is almost more important, to be honest.
Thank you, Danielle.
Yeah, no problem.
Anyone else have a question? No? Okay. Danielle, this was really good stuff.
I'm glad you guys got something out of it. I hope so anyways.
Totally. I feel like I always get, I mean, you gave lots and lots of good information and things for me to think about and just inspired. So, I don't know. I can't think of any other questions that we have, but I can tell.
No problem.
I know that everybody's got loads of notes, and we just really appreciate you taking the time. And thank you so, so much.
If you guys think of anything after the call, I am the classic. I won't have anything when you're staring me in the face, and then like the second you're not, I will have 12 things to ask you. If you're like me, don't hesitate to message me. I'm happy to share privately with you more on whatever it is you think of. So don't hesitate to reach out. But thanks so much for having me, you guys. I really appreciate it.
It was great. Thank you so much for being on.
Guys. Thank you.
And have a good night, everybody.
Yeah, have a good week.
All right. Thanks, Danielle.
Bye.